What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my Monday Night Football FanDuel Single-Game Breakdown. Now be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Let me know in the comments section who are your favorite options at MVP and at Flex for tonight, and follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. Tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will post the updates as we get a little bit more news throughout the day. Not sure we need news for this game, but either way, 7 p.m. on Twitter, I'll have the updates. Let's start with the overarching facts. The average fantasy points in the optimal lineup, 101.4. The median salary used, $59,000. 2.4 Rams per optimal lineup, 2.6 Bears. The Rams, 6-point favorites tonight, 45-point total. This game is at the Rams. Should be a pretty good one. I'm kind of excited for it. There's a couple obvious spots I want to go, so let's get started. Now, if we're starting at the MVP spot, we have to start at the top. That would be Jared Goff. He is 15K, but he shows up in the optimal MVP spot 28% of the time. That is the highest by far on the slate. Now, I don't have ownership, but I don't get the sense that Goff is going to come in all that much north of that number. So I really do think that Jared Goff is the best raw MVP option. If you're looking to be a little bit more different, ugh, I'm the worst. Drop that down to 13,500, go to Nick Foles. Foles shows up with the second highest odds of being the optimal MVP. That is 18% of the time. Goff and Foles making up 46% of all optimal MVPs. It's really difficult to not want to go to a quarterback on FanDuel. We've got about a 50-50 shot that it's either a quarterback or a different player. That's pretty heavy, and that's what happens when you don't change the salaries when you go to the MVP spot. Now, if you're looking to go to a non-quarterback, first guy up to me, Allen Robinson. 13K. He's got my fourth highest projection, but just because of the price and the variance in wide receiver outcomes, he shows up in the optimal MVP spot 12% of the time. That is the third highest number behind Goff and Foles. You can pay up a little bit more if you would like. Go to someone like Cooper Kupp, 14.5. It's possible that Kupp and or Woods see mildly lower ownership just because of the way they're sandwiched in between two quarterbacks. I'm going to keep a close eye there. If either one of those guys don't pick up a ton of ownership, that's a direction I want to go. If I'm trying to find somebody else, the only other guy that I'd be really interested in would be David Montgomery. He's 11,500, shows up in the optimal MVP spot 9.5% of the time. I'm going to pay close attention to the ownership, but I think Montgomery is probably the floor of anybody you want to get from a pay down perspective. Montgomery is then 11,500. I just don't see him being the leading scorer all that frequently. You're much better off going to Goff, Foles, and Robinson unless Montgomery picks up no ownership. Now, at the flex spot, it's a little bit different. The two most popular flex options come from Chicago. That is David Montgomery at 11.5. He's just super easy to fit in no matter what sort of lineup construction you're trying to put together. Second would be Nick Foles. He's just too cheap as a quarterback. Foles is 13.5, Montgomery 11.5. These guys show up just shy of 50% of the time in the flex spot. Montgomery 47, Foles 46.5. They are the two best flex options by far if you don't have them in the MVP spot already. Goff, a close third. He's in the optimal at the flex spot about 40% of the time. It's pretty clear he's the best play of the day. Now, ownership will change the distinction of that. If he ends up being super duper owned, then you can easily get away from Goff, slide in a little bit more Nick Foles. But for right now, on a raw basis, Goff is the top play. Now, if you're looking for anybody off the beaten path, I like Sam Sloman a little bit more than I like Cairo Santos. If you need to pay down a little bit further, Darnell Mooney showed up in the optimal 20% of the time. Josh Reynolds showed up in the optimal about 17% of the time. You could save a little bit of salary, go to 6,500. Cordarrelle Patterson, he showed up about 13% of the time. After that, Gerald Everett, Van Jefferson, very minimal amounts in the optimal lineup, 2%, 3%. So if you're playing 150, you can get, 5% of those guys. If you're playing in a 20 max, I think the floor for anybody you want to play would be Cordarrelle Patterson. Now, as I usually say, since I don't have ownership as of right now, fades are a little difficult. I think that one of Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods will be a natural fade at the MVP spot. I think you'll see someone get the ownership, but I don't think both guys will, at which point I will happily be light on that guy. Darrell Henderson at 12K just seems a bit too expensive. I greatly prefer David Montgomery, so I don't anticipate getting much Henderson. He's a little bit better at the flex spot, that's for sure. Kupp in particular at the flex spot at 14.5. Gonna have a lot of trouble paying off his salary. That's why he makes for a better MVP. If he has like a middle tier game, the 14,500 just isn't going to be worth it. If we're talking about guys that I really just don't like, 10,500 and 10,000 flat, Tyler Higbee, Malcolm Brown, only showing up in the optimal about 6% of the time each. Well, 7 for Higbee, 5 for Brown, but you guys get the gist. I don't really have much interest there. Those guys are going to pick up more ownership than that sim amount, at which point I'll probably just come in with a 0. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my FanDuel single game plays for Monday Night Football. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Let me know in the comments who you like at MVP and at Flex. I'm really interested to see your MVP thoughts for this particular game. And then finally, follow me on Twitter, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, at Josh Engleman. We'll have the updated sim results for you guys. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Look for my DraftKings video that's around here somewhere. And have some fun tonight for Monday Night Football.